QA trainer.
Yeah,
How are
hi.
you?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Sorry for taking so long.
yeah, no problem. It's okay. So we'll start. Okay.
Sure.
So before going to start, can you please introduce yourself, please?
I'm Sarika Shinde. I have over 7 years of experience in C++ development.
C++. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So.
But right now, I don't want to continue in development further.
Mhm, mhm,
That's the reason I was just exploring yesterday
mhm.
uh, about QA.
Okay. So okay, fine. So do you have any idea on QA, or else
Yeah, a
you
bit
are
of
going?
testing I have done
Mhm.
last year.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
working.
Okay. Cool. So let me start up. Before going to start again, let me introduce myself also.
Okay.
Right about myself. So I'm Naresh. I have almost 12 plus years of QA industry experience, and right now I'm working as a serial testing manager in a
Okay.
telecom company. And from past 9 years, I'm taking the QA online trainings, right?
Okay.
In both as well in both manual and as well as automation. And I'm
Okay.
a BTech graduate. This is about myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So,
That's it.
right. So, hope you're able to see my desktop, right?
Sorry.
So, I hope you're able to see my desktop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll not take much time. So, I'll just brief about the QA.
Hmm.
In the QA, so what is manual and what is automation?
Hmm.
So, what exactly we are going to learn, right?
Okay.
A short and a brief introduction I'm
Okay.
going to provide you for
Okay.
both manual and automation. Okay. So, right. So first of all, what is QA? Quality assurance, right? So we can
Hmm.
simply say that providing the assurance about the quality of the application.
Okay.
So whenever we are able to assure about the application quality, when we
Hmm.
test the software application and certify it, through that process, we can able to assure the quality of the application, right? Software testing.
Okay.
So what is this software testing? So we can say that validating the functionalities of the application by making sure they are working as expected, right?
Okay.
Right. Every application is associated with some set of functionalities, as you already know, you are working as a developer. So that functionalities are working as expected or not. We need to validate it. So this process of validating the functionality is nothing but software
Hmm.
testing in a generic, in a general terms, we can say. So we all we are doing this assurance or testing for the sake of getting the quality of the application, right?
Hmm.
So how can we say an application is a quality when we
Yeah.
say
That's right.
application is a bug-free
That's
application?
right.
I think with a quality application.
Yeah.
So why we are doing this? Why we are behind? Everybody is behind quality. So that means that why to maintain the quality? So to maintain the quality only we are doing all this process, right? So why to maintain the quality? What is the benefit out of that when we maintain a quality? Generally.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah, you're saying something, please. to retain the customers, right?
Yeah.
To gain the profits. Compete with market, right? To maintain the consistency, right? So for all this getting, right, we are going to maintain a quality in a application, right? So
Hmm.
this is just a basic thing about the basic, I mean, what you can call that, an introduction of the QA, right?
Hmm.
So why the QA is came into picture, right? Due to maintenance of the application quality,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So it just define the testing in a simple one line of statement.
Hmm.
But when we want to really test an application, we should have to follow a standard procedure, right? Like testing process, we can say,
Hmm.
right? Plan, right?
Yes.
Functionalities, test cases, bugs, reports, execution, right? So what is a plan? So every process of testing should start with plan.
Right.
So then what is a plan here in general? In general, how can we define a plan?
When the testing should happen, at what phases?
Uh-huh.
What
A
phases of
plan.
development
Mhm, mhm. A
after
plan is
development?
nothing but a, a systematic approach.
Right.
When we are able to come up with an approach, how to do the things, then we can call it a plan in general, right?
Hmm.
So here our ultimate outcome should be an application with quality, right?
Hmm.
For that to get, we should require an approach for testing the software application, like when to start the testing, when
Hmm.
to finish the testing of the application,
Hmm.
right? The testers required for testing the application, the knowledge required for testing the application, what are the environments required in terms of software, hardware environments, what are the risk factors involved while testing the application. So we have to consider all these factors and come up with a approach that is nothing but a plan. So
Hmm.
once the plan is prepared, the work is going to be assigned to the testers who have how to work on that application. In that case, the individual testers should come up with the functionalities what they
Hmm.
have to validate. Because first of all, if they want to do the testing, they should have to know what functionalities in that application and how the functionalities have to behave, right? So they need to list out the functionalities. For that listed out the functionalities, they are going to come up with the respective test cases. So what is the difference between a functionality and a test case?
Functionalities is the like what the software does.
Uh-huh. Right. So what to test? It will say that what we have to test. That is a functionality, right?
Hmm.
Suppose the functionality I am taking this log into Facebook account. This is my functionality. Are we able to log into Facebook account or not?
Hmm.
Right? Then what is a test case? A test case is that how to test a functionality.
Okay.
In simple, like if I want to test this, what I have to do? So I need to do some steps like navigate to FB page, home page, right?
Hmm.
Enter valid user credentials. Click on login button.
Hmm.
Right? It is saying that how to do this.
Hmm.
So the descriptive describes that what to do, for testing the functionality and what to validate. What is the behavior to validate? Right here is going to say that expected as well. Right? Should successfully log into Gmail. Right?
FBF.
Okay. This is what. Right? This is a test case here. Right? So we are going to write down the test cases because here the test case writing is very important here. So how effectively we are going to write down the test cases, that much effectively we can test the functionalities, because you are going to execute the functionalities based on the test case only. If you want to write the test cases perfect, you should have a clear understanding of the functionalities, right? So that is. So here, this is how the test cases will be. Right. Okay, we have some template. So using this template, we are going to write down the test cases. So in the sessions, we are going to see how to write down these test cases. So with different applications, we'll take application means different requirement documents. Right, we'll have a practicals of that. Right, so we'll provide the assignments to make you practice and get the experience on writing the test cases. Okay. So remaining process are as a theory part concept, but test case writing, study the requirements, understand them, finding out the functionalities, further functionalities, writing the test cases. All those process we'll see it in detail. Okay. And then once we completed test case writing, we should have to start the validation. So validation is execution. So execution is nothing but making sure your functionalities are working as expected. So that can be done either manual or automation. Manual in the sense means everything we are going to do by ourselves. Right? So it is manual. Right. When we say automation, whatever the manual process will do, that manual process will convert into an automation process. Right? And make your functionalities testing automatically by the tool itself. Right? That is automation testing. Right? So why we need to go for automation? What is the purpose?
To make it faster.
That is an advantage from automation.
Okay.
So to reduce the time, right? Reduce cost, reduce manpower effort, faster feedbacks, all are nothing but advantages that we are going to get out of automation. Right? So what is automation we discussed? What are the advantages? So to get these advantages, what we have to do? It means that what is the purpose? The purpose is reusability or repeated testing. There are some situations where the repeated testing is required for the same functionalities which is already tested. So in that case, the automation is most useful, right? Because testing the same functionalities manually again and again, it will consume same amount of time, same amount of manpower and the cost. So for doing the same activities, these are all the things cannot be acceptable, right? So as an automation, it's a one-time effort where we can reuse the scripts till we want to run those functionalities, right? So that is about automation here, right? We'll see. So either you go for automation or manual, the process is one and the same. The only difference is in manual, you are going to have test cases, but in automation, we'll have test cases for test scripts. That's the only difference, right? Okay, without test scripts, we can't able to do the automation. How to create the test scripts using the automation tool, that is what we are going to learn as an automation course, right? Now here, while executing, right, maybe few of the functionalities may not work as expected. Then we'll consider that one as a bug, an issue. That bug, we should have to report it to the developer, obviously, right? How a tester is going to report an issue to the developer? how
Good.
the developer will get back to the tester, right?
Good sheet.
So, right, like that. So, what is a bug lifecycle process that we are going to see in detail,
Okay.
and as well as status reports. Status reports means at the end of the day we have to send a status report saying that okay, we have tested this number of functionalities, they are passed, they are failed, like this. Okay, so this is how we are going to send the reports, right? In a format you can see it here, right? It depends upon us, right?
Oh,
And if has failed, something like
right.
that, how to prepare all these things, right? So we are going to see it.
Okay.
So this is all about testing process, right? First, we should have to learn this one. We should be aware of all these concepts. Then, right. So we are going to. This is a introduction part of the QA, right? So as a part of QA, automation testing is one category, right? So we already have discussed what is automation purpose, advantages. Huh?
Hmm.
We'll directly jump into Selenium here, right? So whatever we discussed right till now, that is QA process, and it is going to take some 3 to 4 weeks, right? In a normal to cover all these concepts, QA concepts, right?
Hmm.
So for that QA, we'll have the study materials also like this, right? So this is materials, right?
Hmm.
STLC. So I think you are already aware of this STLC,
Yes.
software development lifecycle, right? Unless then STLC, software testing lifecycle, test case writing, right? Waterfall model, right? The models you are already aware of that, right? This thing.
Hmm.
So materials will be there, right? We will provide the materials.
Okay.
Now, so coming to the automation. So to do the automation testing, we should have to create the automation scripts for the respective functionality user operations. Okay,
Hmm.
so here, whenever we want to go to the automation, right, we should require the tools. That means, as we discussed, to create the automation scripts, we should require the automation tools, right? So here, if you see, what is test automation here, they described it, why and when to automate. And these are all the test automation tools available, right? Out of these tools, Selenium is the one which is using currently right now,
Okay.
right? Okay, so why Selenium is popular now?
It is very
Actually,
popular.
when we want to, yeah, you're saying something. Tell me, please. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying you're answering something, right?
Yeah.
Why Selenium is
Selenium
popular?
is the most popular tool right now.
Yeah. Why? How can you
It's
say that?
first it's open source, I think. It's Java, it's based on Java.
Mhm. Right. Right. So,
And it's a
what
tool.
is Selenium? Yeah.
Uh, framework, whole framework is ready and it is
Hmm.
in use.
Whole framework is not ready actually.
Okay.
I'll tell you. So
Okay.
it's a set of components used to automate the web-based
Okay. Web based.
application functionalities.
Uh-huh.
Components are Selenium ID, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. Okay, these are three components. Okay, and coming to the features, these are the features made the Selenium popular, right? Right, cross-browser testing, right? Platform. independent,
Hmm.
right? Supports multiple languages like HTML, C Sharp, Java, Ruby, and Python. That means that any one of the automation tools should require, right, the support of the languages, right? Because using the languages supports like see here, if you use the C plus C sharp and take the support of that, using that we can able to create the Selenium script. If somebody knows very well about the Fire Java, they can create the Selenium scripts in Java like that. So that flexibility is provided by the Selenium, right? Clear?
Yeah.
Now here we are saying that components here. So here first component is ID. ID is the one which is used for basic recording of user operations and playing back. Okay, right? So here the ID will be look like this.
Okay.
This ID, right? So we can able to create the scripts by using recording option. If you put the application in recording mode and you perform the operation, right? ID now, right? This is script. The script by default will be created in this one is HTML. Okay, so when you play back this one, it will run it. See, it is run automatically, right? But this one is not using right now, the ID I mean to say, right? So why ID is not using? There is the limitations. That means that this ID is only work for the Firefox browser. That means that ID is installed as a plugin of the Firefox browser. We cannot separately install just in PC just like other software. Okay, right?
Okay.
And the script created in the IDE and run from and to Firefox browser only, right? In that case, we cannot achieve the cross-browser testing. So for that, they came up with the Selenium WebDriver here, right? So to overcome the limitations of IDE, they came up with the Selenium WebDriver. So to learn the Selenium WebDriver, first of all, we should aware of the core Java concepts because the entire components of the Selenium is built with the core Java only. Okay, Java concepts. So we should require Java knowledge.
Yeah.
So do you have core Java knowledge?
Yeah, I had done in my college time.
Yeah.
Long back.
Anyway, you are also working as C++. It's good. And that above, apart from that, we also provide. I'll also take some 10 to 12 sections in explaining the basic concepts and as well as the concepts which used frequently. Okay.
Okay.
So here, right? So we'll cover the core Java, entire core Java required. What is package? What is class? What is method? Right? What is local, global, static, non-static, loop statements, iteration statements, right? So all, right? So all the concepts you're going to discuss in the core Java and as well as OOPS concepts like inheritance, interface, right? Constructors, methods, constructor overloadings, exception handling. All these concepts you're going to discuss it in detail in Java because the base for creation of the automation scripts in Selenium is we should require some logic knowledge. Okay, right?
Okay.
So where we are going to write the program here. Okay, the reason is here. Right, one second. Let me open.
You don't cover QTP and other things?
Here we'll cover QC here, right?
Okay.
As a part of this, we'll cover quality center. That's I'm going to tell you, right?
Okay.
Anyway, so QTP is no more right now, right? If you want, I
Okay.
can give you a in 1 week sessions on that, right?
Okay.
We'll cover because it's not that much useful, right? I mean, that's not useful as it's not going to use anymore right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And here, let's see here. So, core Java concepts with examples, practical knowledge, we'll discuss it all, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And okay. So now, after discussing the core Java, we are going to jump into WebDriver, right? So using the WebDriver, how we are going to run your script in different browsers, right? Okay. How to automate the alert functionalities, how to automate the Power Window functionalities, how to take the screenshots of a failure page, right? So all these things, right? So we are going to discuss in the WebDriver with some examples and as well as with assignments, right?
Okay.
So you can see here, um, see these are right in the core Java. All these concepts are discussed, right? There are
Hmm.
different examples, okay? And in the same way, WebDriver also,
Okay.
all these programs, right? And apart from this, we are going to cover frameworks which are important here,
Hmm.
right? Like TestNG framework, data-driven framework, okay? What is it? Keyword-driven, data-driven, keyword-driven, keyword-driven framework, and page object model framework, right? Okay, data-driven framework, keyword-driven framework, and as well as data-driven and hybrid framework. These are the frameworks we are going to discuss at the end of the session, at the end of the course, because these frameworks are very important. When somebody, if you are testing, if you are initiating a project, they'll ask that what is the framework you have used, right? And what template framework we are used. We should have to provide that. Okay. So how to create the Selenium project using the frameworks here, right? Each and every framework is particular significance, right? So, and we are going to see all those frameworks one after the other. Okay, right? So this is overall Selenium here. Every software is a freeware software, right? We can download it from the respective site and we can install it. So we'll help you out the installation process, downloading, and as well as configuration process of that. Okay, right? So we'll provide the study materials, right? Assignments will be there, lots of assignments will be there. Okay, so that is all about Selenium here and QC. Is that Selenium clear?
Yes.
So let's
Like means,
insert.
you
Yeah,
write
sorry.
different Java programs or any
Yeah,
language.
Java only here. We are purely
Okay.
on Java, Java
Okay, you will be
programs.
covering Java. That's
Right, I'll cover in Java. Right. Here you can see here in other batches I covered all constructor, exception handling interface, everything. right?
Oh.
So the Selenium itself is going to take some 25 sessions minimum, or it may go to 30 sessions also, right?
Okay.
Okay. So overall, if you go for manual and Selenium automation, it's going to take some more than 45 plus sessions or 50 sessions, you can say, right?
Okay.
Okay. And about QC, Quality Center. Quality Center is nothing but, which is a test management tool. So till now, if you see here, to create the test planner, to write the test cases, right? Okay, so we are using Excel sheets and as well as Word document. So, which increases the complexity and maintenance, right? Instead of avoiding doing the collection of the status from that, okay, right? Here we are going to have a one tool called Quality Center, where every activity of the testing can be managed, processed, and performed. Like we can create the test plan in the Quality Center. We can write down the test cases in the Quality Center. We can also delete the we can also use the quality center for generating the reports, right? All this, right? Okay, right. And excuse me one minute, I'm just checking it. Yeah, look and feel of the quality center will be like this. Okay, right? So how to, what is the modules we have? How to log in, right? Okay. So right now it is HP. HP is on this. Right now it is HP Quality Center, HPQC.
Okay.
Okay. So how? What is the module? These are three modules. Test plan defects, and the lab module is the one which uses for generation the DB validation. Here, right? Okay. So if you see here, these are the modules: test plan, test lab, or the defects, right? So if you want to do the validations, any validation, something else, either GUI functionalities or some other, we can do it from here. Test lab or DB validations, everything you can do it from here, right? If you want to prepare a test plan, we can do it here, right? Okay, so how to prepare the test plan we have discussed here, right? In a step-by-step process, right? With a screenshot, right? So we are going to cover this one as well, right? So how we are going to write down the test case in the case quality center, how we are going to write down the functionalities descriptions in the quality center, right? So all these things we are going to discuss in detail, okay? Right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that clear? Any questions?
No, not really.
Okay. So as we will provide the materials, study materials will provide you, running notes will be there. Okay, right. Any questions?
I didn't hear you properly last what you said.
So is that clear till now? Any questions?
No.
I'm asking that. Any questions? Fine, right. So I said that all the things will be mailed, right? So even running notes also will send in a mail and the course contents. Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. No problem.
Okay then. Any other questions, or shall we close the session?
How long is the training?
Yeah, that's what I said, right? So if you go for QA plus Selenium, QA itself will take 3 to 4 weeks, and here it is going to minimum take 4 weeks Selenium. So total overall it will come around 2 months if you consider 1 hour per day training, right?
Okay.
If you want to make this fast in 1 month, then you're going to sit with parallel and start the thing here.
Okay. No hurry.
Go ahead with it. Okay, fine. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Have a nice day, Sarika. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye.